Welcome back to the Creative Saints podcast. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Josh.
All right. Season 2 is where we're at. Episode
Season
2, Season 2. Actually,
that's
I don't know
confusing.
how. I know.
Don't do that. No.
I'm not doing
it's just
all of that.
episode 27. That got really confusing really fast.
I know. We are so excited to still be doing this. Thank you for listening. And I mean, I feel like our MO is just to dive right into what we want to talk about this week.
Yeah. Sometimes we have like banter or weird, like, oh, this happened today, or funny thing happened, or something crazy.
This morning has been stacked from 8 a.m. on. We've been on phone calls and meetings. And so honestly, sitting down to like
all day
chill
long
for a minute might be kind of nice.
Breeze.
Let's chill and talk and relax. I actually do feel like I came in kind of hot, and that's probably why, because my brain is like on tasks today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is just like another thing that has to be done today, and I don't want it to feel like that.
I have like some technical stuff today.
So I'm gonna take a deep breath.
Still design, but some technical like pieces that I need, dimensions, different things, and so my brain is in a different processing place today. Last couple of days been very creative, like do the fun stuff, draw stuff, and then I've sent out emails and people have been like, that's incredible, and I'm like, this is amazing, thank you so much. So it's been a lot of like,
tell me again how awesome you
are. When you get, I mean, just to be frank, I've had 4 clients in the last week where I've sent them the first round and they're like, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
perfect. Thanks.
And I'm like,
all right.
Well, we're in the concepting phase.
Just prepare yourself, right? Though it's not
That
always
never
that
happens.
way. Don't get too excited.
So let's go to my excitement and my I feel awesome. Thank you, God. All the humble bows.
I feel like you're just like chest bump and peace out. Like
but in 7 years, I have literally never had a week where I've worked on multiple branding projects and gotten 4 responses back to an email. Because once you send it out, it's up in the air. You don't know.
Yeah.
They could be like, I hate that. But also, you get people who are like, nope, that's it. That's spot on.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, we're in concepts. Let's tweak this a little now that I've seen it.
Yeah.
Now I know
Give
you
me
like
some
this.
feedback. Those, though, the people that usually come back and say like, yep, perfect. It's because the intake went so well and they
Right.
had such clear vision for what they wanted.
Yeah.
The people that
Purpose.
are like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of like this and maybe it means this, and those ones are the ones that like first round sent and they're like, I don't like any of these, and you're like, great, now I have. Then you basically have to do a completely fresh client intake because that means whatever you got the first time was wrong.
Yeah.
Fun times.
But in 7 years, that's the first time that's ever happened. So prepare yourselves. That's not normal.
Yeah. I'm trying to prepare you. That's what I'm trying to get at, is if next week isn't as good, I don't want you falling into a pit of despair.
I think I've taken on enough. Like, I hate that.
Yeah.
Actually, one of these clients, the first round of concepts I sent, they said, can we get on the phone? I hate them all.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it was the second round that made it.
No, this was a revision.
So since our week has been so busy, it's a perfect segue into what we wanted to talk about.
It's been
today.
busy.
Our week?
Our week?
Are you asking?
No.
What's happening right now?
No, I'm being facetious. Busy is an understatement. I feel like we have 19 jobs right now.
Yeah, we do. And yeah, well,
part of that's self-induced, like preparing for homeschooling.
Yeah.
Looking for a home.
Yeah, looking for a house is a full-time job. So here we go. So one of the questions that we get asked a lot, and we do get asked a lot of questions. I would say these are the top 2. The first one is, how do you work with your spouse all day long and still get along? I've gotten that question so many times. People are like, oh my God, I could never spend that much time with my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just the way we are. It's the way we like it. It's the way that we feel like it's supposed to be. And so we do it. So I actually don't understand, how people feel when they ask that question. It's very foreign to me that I wouldn't want to spend time with you. But I get it. It is not for everyone.
We've touched on that a good amount.
Yeah. And the second question that we get asked is, how do you do it all?
Because we're awesome. Everything is awesome.
Um,
Everything is awesome.
okay. That's your like third song that you've sang, so I'm glad to see that you're really in it today.
Well, let's just see how many more we get in there.
Okay. Um, how do you do it all is what we want to touch on today. And I think because we're so busy right now. And I honestly don't even like saying that because I feel like people say that they're busy sometimes and I'm like, you just have no idea. And I think that parents can relate, like when single people say they're busy and parents are like, just wait till you have kids. Like you don't even know
You
what
get the
busy
maniacal,
is. Yeah.
villainous laugh.
Yeah, and I think that everyone's version of how busy they are is just what season of life they're in, right? Currently, this is the busiest we've ever been before kids, with kids.
It's full.
It's very full. And maybe that's the distinction that I want to make is it's not just busy work. Our life is incredibly full right now. It's very scheduled. It's very planned out. We have a lot of things multiple times a day. And it's just very new for us. We've always been able to set our own schedule, pick and choose what we want. And in past seasons, we've just said no to a lot of things because we didn't want to fill our schedule. And that's not really a possibility right now, nor do we want to. The things that we're saying yes to, we want to be doing them. And so that is, I think, where we kind of want to land, right? How do you do it all? And honestly, the answer is that we don't do it all.
There's a lot that we don't do
that we still say no to.
Asked to do, and we've talked about that, saying yes to the right clients. That'll fill up your schedule when you start taking on the right client work, or you start task management or project management or checklists or any of those things. Once you start realizing I have 9 hours of work a day, I have 9 hours of work that I can put towards something, whatever it is. But that includes like getting home things done. That includes getting the kids taken care of, making dinner, whatever it is, having meetings that are outside of work scope, going to church, like all of those things have to fit into your working hours of the day. Working hours don't necessarily mean 9 to 5.
Job, yeah. Yeah. So if you're doing all of those things, if that's what you're saying yes to, I think the way that I wanted to say it is that like we don't say yes to everything. We say yes to the things that we're called to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're called to do, this episode may not be for you. Because I refuse to just do busy work. I refuse. I'm not in a season of life where that's required anymore. I'm allowed to say no to that. And I don't just have to fill my schedule to fill my schedule. However, I feel very, very clear with the Lord on what I am called to. Yeah. And I will say yes to those things every single time because that's the thing He's called me to do. And I touch on this a lot. I don't know if I said it last week. So if I did and it's redundant, just, ignore it, I guess. But making a list of the things that you're outputting and asking God what things are from Him, it changed my life because it actually made me realize and think about who asked me to do this. Yeah. Did God ask me to do it, or did people ask me to do it, or did I just come up with taking this on all by myself?
Because somebody in passing said I need this done, and
I
know how to do that. I've done that once before.
And so I'm out of that season, right, where I'm just walking along the road and picking things up. Yeah. I'm not doing that anymore. But the things that I'm called to do, I will say yes. And again, quick obedience. We're back to that where we're going like, the Lord asked me to do this. This is a part of the calling. It's an immediate yes. It's not I don't know if I can. Like if I have to put something else down in order to do the thing I'm called to do, that's what I'm going to do. And so while I think that we often look busy and we have a full schedule and we're having to maneuver things or move calls around or move meetings around or reschedule dinner with friends and all of that, we're homeschooling, we're podcasting, we run a client business, we work for our church, we serve at our church, we all of those things. And it's not just to keep a full schedule.
Mm-mm.
It's because those are actually the things that God has called us to. And next year, the calling might look different. And maybe our kids are out of school somewhere and they're not homeschooled, or maybe we're not working for the church, we're just serving, or maybe like we don't know what that's going to look like next year. But in this season, these are the things that we know are
But that's
immediate
knowing
yes.
your calling. That's
Mm-hmm.
knowing your purpose and knowing your
Exactly.
calling, and really owning that. And it calling is more costly than just taking on a project.
Mm-hmm.
Calling is way more expensive than any project you can take on.
Yeah.
Because there's weight behind it, there's
Mm-hmm.
purpose behind it, there's other people on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're working with a client and you are trying to reach their customer base at the end of the day, it's less weighty than someone's salvation on the other side of what your calling is, so that you can impact their life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I think at times it's more tiring,
Yeah.
because it's not just get the work done. It's emotional, physical, spiritual, mental, like
Mm-hmm.
all of those things are much more taxing on you. And so you have to be so in tune with what your calling is,
Yeah.
and focus on what your calling isn't.
Yeah. I completely agree. You have to know the difference. I think figuring out what your calling isn't is just as important as knowing what it is.
Yeah.
Because it can get muddy. And I just think you have to know. I just think you have to know that God was like, yeah, do that, don't do this.
Yeah.
And he will. He'll be that clear with you. There are going to be seasons where he requires a lot. There are going to be seasons where he trusts you a lot. There are going
to be seasons where you have to trust him a lot.
Yeah. So let's just be honest though, right? Just because you're called to it doesn't always mean that it's easy. And I love being honest. It always makes me think like, how honest do I want to be? This week, specifically yesterday, was a lot for me. I woke up and immediately was completely overwhelmed. And did I get the best night of sleep? No. So that added fuel to the fire. But it honestly just felt like a lot. I know you and the kids can attest to the mood that I was in.
Which never happens, so it's even more not startling.
I usually am a good morning person. So
yeah, I'm the one who's like,
yeah,
no in the morning.
Like, it wasn't just about a hair day. It wasn't just that I didn't like any of my clothes. Like, there was something really heavy on me, and then I was mad that I felt that way, and it was literally just like the worst spiral effect. And listen, we all have these days, and yesterday was mine, and I was going, I know you asked at one point, like, what is wrong? And I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do it all. I have piles of laundry that I don't know when I'm going to wash it because I don't have time. Like, if I'm doing laundry, I'm not spending time with the kids. And if I'm spending time with the kids, then I'm not getting a work project done, or I'm not prepping dinner, or I'm not grocery shopping, or like, so I was just feeling very overwhelmed. Like, I don't know how I do this all every day for the rest of my life. Like, it was just a lot,
which is very out of character for you, because you just don't get overwhelmed. And it's just to put it in there, because I'm sure there's people who listen to this that feel the exact same way as what you just said of, I don't know how I can do this every day for the rest of my life. Do laundry, make dinner, like take care of the kids.
If I have to talk one more time about what we're gonna have for a meal, I hate it. I hate that conversation.
But what you always rationally bring is, okay, I'll go put laundry in. I will spend time with the girls. When the girls are like, oh, I want to be crazy and just run around and do whatever, then I'll sit down and do work for a little bit, and they'll read or they'll get crafty or whatever. And then we'll come together and we'll make dinner. Like, that's your typical rational, like, whatever. There are days where it just feels like the bucket spills over.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to bed and I'll start fresh tomorrow.
Honestly, yeah.
But you still have responsibilities. You still have things that you need to get done.
Yeah.
And I think that what you did yesterday was, obviously, work day. We have to get work done in school.
Life had to go on. We had a meeting to get to. We had things to do.
But then once you got all of your tasks done a couple hours later, then you just played with the girls
Mm-hmm.
and you found joy in doing that. So I think when you have a crap-tard day, you just let the bucket lay all over.
Yeah.
The bucket can be spilled for the day.
Yeah.
That's fine. Get what you have to get done and then find joy in it.
Yeah.
Like find some reason, because if you're called to do all of this, God is going to give you that joy, but you have to look for it. You have to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just going to be, I'm in the middle of work and all of a sudden I'm just so happy and everything's
Yeah.
It just doesn't work like
Yeah.
that. You have to do the work
Yeah.
so even when you're having a crap day, you still have to
Mhm.
work harder to get to that point where it's, you know what, I'm just going to choose joy today.
Well, and for me, I think that some of it stemmed from a lack of organization. I hadn't really thought a lot about what our day was going to look like.
Yeah.
And so when I woke up and realized how much there was in it, I hadn't planned any of it. Like I just woke up and I just felt like all of it was sitting right there and had to be done. And I wasn't taking the time to go, I can do this at this time. And what you said, I normally do is like, while the laundry is washing, I will do this. While they're doing that, I'll do this. Like,
Yeah.
and that was not happening. My brain was not compartmentalizing anything. And so once I realized that like I could actually get a handle on it, and we did shift our day a little bit. We didn't stay out as long as we needed to. We came home for some things. And so
but we still got a bunch done.
we still got a ton. Yeah. And
we
like
still
life goes on.
pick it up today. It's always
Mhm.
there tomorrow. Get things that have to be done.
Mhm.
Also, something that happened yesterday afternoon, don't let people own your time. Keep
Mhm.
people accountable for, if they schedule a meeting, they don't get to take that. Nobody gets to take that away from you. You get to choose how things go. So if somebody's like, hey, I'm running 30 minutes late, or I forgot, you don't have to own that. You
Right.
can say, hey, I had to move on.
Yeah.
And here's this.
Mhm.
I've moved on. We can talk about it again later, but schedule a time.
Yeah.
What is that saying I used to say? Failure to prepare on your part doesn't constitute an emergency on my
Yeah,
part.
exactly.
And I think that's so true. And
Mhm.
like, there are things that are going to be emergencies that, yeah, jump on them.
Mhm.
But someone else's lack of putting in the work or
Mhm.
preparing is not an emergency on your part. Put your foot down
Mhm.
and stand firm in, I know my calling, I know my piece, and you're not going to take that.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I think knowing that is actually the caveat, or like, I don't think caveat is the right word, but it's actually how we avoid the overcommitted busyness.
It's the catalyst.
Yeah, the catalyst. That's,
If
if
something
you stand
starts
your
stealing
ground,
peace,
yeah,
what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why is this stealing our peace, and are we going to continue to let it steal
yeah.
our peace?
Because now then this meeting that I had scheduled, that everyone knew was scheduled, now it just becomes busy work because
Mhm.
it's not at the right time. I'm
Yep.
not in the right headspace anymore. I had to move on with my day. Like now it's just, you're not going to accomplish anything. And so, yeah, I think that's good. And I think that like, just because we are rather organized and we have a pretty good idea right now of, and I say right now because I think this changes, right now in this season we have a pretty good idea of the things that God has called us to, right? I feel
Mhm.
very secure in the things that he has called us to do and the things we're putting our hand to. There are other seasons where I'm going, I don't know where you are, God.
Mhm.
I'm going to keep doing what you've told me to
Yep.
do, but like I don't know where you are or what you really want me to do.
You want to
So,
shine through a little today? That might.
Yeah, so I'm very aware that like this is we're in a season of like understanding right now that we haven't always been in. And I think that if you are currently walking in a season where you're going like, I'm not actually sure that I know what God wants me to do,
Mhm.
go back to the word. He already laid it all out in the Bible. I just think you go to the word of God
Mhm.
and there will be an instruction that is the instruction manual, right? So if you don't know what to do what the word says, and then he'll give you your specific instructions.
Yeah.
But just because we have that understanding right now does not mean that we don't collapse at the end of the day and go, holy cow, that day. I don't know how we just did that.
It happens.
That I am exhausted. I love you. I'm going to sleep. Don't talk to me. Like I put a pillow over my head and I'm out because
But
I'm
how
exhausted.
accomplished do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
We pretty much every night have like giggles and laughs with our girls. Like that's a good day.
Mhm.
Like no matter what happened, if we get to spend time with our kids and drink coffee and like, wow, actually accomplished a lot today. Maybe have a good meal. You know, all those things are so simple in like, okay, that was worth it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not always like that. Your life is not going to stay, our life is not going to stay at that fast, full caliber. There
Right.
is obedience in being full, and there is disobedience
Mm-hmm.
in just being busy, making yourself look busy so you look good to people, or making yourself busy so that you are appearing that you're accomplishing more,
Yeah.
or that you're more successful. And we've talked about that. We've done that. There's a difference in obedient fullness in your calling
Mm-hmm.
and disobedient or astray, not
Wandering. Yeah.
wandering
Yeah.
all over the place
Yeah.
and just being, oh, I'm so full. But what did you
What did you
accomplish?
actually
Or
accomplish? Yeah.
what did we've had days
What
in
is the fruit?
early on where we were so quote unquote busy
Mm-hmm.
and laid down at the end of the day, and my brain is still spinning, and I'm like, what did I close anything today? Did I like
Mm-hmm.
accomplish any, like, did I finish anything?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
So having direction is very, very important in
Yeah.
like knowing what is your calling.
Yeah. I I think if it's true calling, if it's like the thing you're supposed to be doing, I think the fruit is the answer. I think
Mm-hmm.
what is it actually bearing?
Yeah.
That's scriptural. Like if
Calling
you're
it fruit, that's good.
yeah, I think mm, yeah, okay. And also not just bearing fruit, but like walking through it
Mm-hmm.
in the fruit of the spirit.
Yeah.
If you're running around, you think you're ticking things off your checklist and you're actually mad the whole time,
Yeah.
or you're anxious the whole time, or you're confused the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have clarity on what you're doing, it's not actually like that's not how God says it's going to be. If
Mm-hmm.
you're walking in step with Him, you're going to not just bear fruit, but you're going to live in the fruit,
Yeah.
right? And so, really assess like not just what am I getting done, but how am I getting it done?
Mm-hmm.
How am I treating others through the process
Yeah.
and all of that?
Can I jump in there?
Yeah.
Going to what I said earlier about that client who early on, like a few months ago, I showed the first round of concepts and they were like, can we get on the phone? I don't like any of that.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have reacted differently, if I would have gone at the second round of revisions,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is just really tangible, like proof of why this is important.
Mm-hmm.
Your mindset, the spirit of doing things. If I would have gone at that from a pissed off, irritated place
Yeah.
to do the second round of concepts of a logo for a church,
Right.
the spirit of that, the mindset, the heart posture of that comes through in the end product.
Mm-hmm.
And is that person on the other end going to like what comes up? But instead of getting pissed off when he was like, I don't like anything, I asked more questions.
Yeah.
We got a different direction. I looked into a few scriptures. I prayed into it.
Mm-hmm.
And we came to a new round of concepts. There's a lot of heart posture and mindset in, if this is my calling, I have to be on, and I have to be in a healthy place in tune with God all the time
Mm-hmm.
to do my job.
Yeah.
If my job is my calling, if it truly is my calling and not just, oh, that looks like a fun job,
Yeah.
you have to stay in the right heart posture,
Mm-hmm.
in the right mindset. And it is not easy. It is harder work to stay there.
I think that people think though that peace means the absence of work. Like peace means I'm resting in the Lord, and peace means that all my bills are always paid on time because God provides the money exactly when I need it, which is true. He's our provider, but like peace is not the absence of work.
No.
Peace is working in alignment with God.
Yep.
Knowing that what He has placed on you is from Him. And as we were talking about planning this, we kind of brought up that scripture about my yoke is easy, my burden is light. And I got thinking about it, and I have this like childhood. Okay, anybody listening, please comment. Do you remember the felt boards? in Sunday school.
I thought you were going to go Oregon Trail.
Nope.
Does anybody remember playing Oregon
I
Trail?
mean, I do remember that. Everybody died of dysentery or something.
Timmy drowned in the river. We lost 3 oxen.
Okay.
The grain's all wet.
Oh my gosh.
We're all starving. And
Okay,
it's
it
cold.
wasn't a song, but now you're quoting Oregon Trail. Do you remember the 8-bit way that it would pop up on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, off the rails. Ready?
Game over.
I was thinking about this scripture and how growing up in Sunday school, they'd have the little felt boards and you'd stick the oxen on the green felt or whatever. And I just remember maybe in Sunday school pamphlets, or even if you look it up now and you see the 2 oxen and they have the wooden yoke over top of them, and it all looks very heavy, weighty. It's not a good representation of the scripture saying it's light, right? It all looks like, oh my God, these, they're literally pulling and they're working so hard and they're toiling through the field and all these things. And so for God to use that as the description of a yoke, right, is easy and light. Well, literally it's not that. Literally it's actually heavy and hard work. But I think, and again, I'm not a Bible teacher. I didn't go to seminary. So I want to be careful in the way that I interpret scripture. But as I was thinking about it, I just felt like God was it actually isn't about the weight of the thing on you. It's about the fact that I'm the other oxen. I'm the one next to you. There's 2 side by side.
Yep.
If I'm next to you, then I'm actually carrying it for you. Right. I'm taking on the weight, which is a beautiful picture of the cross where he literally took on our sin. So God just kind of started to reframe this for me. And I thought, man, that scripture has less to do with what he's placing on you as much as it has to do with he's the one beside you carrying it. And every step that those oxen take, they have to be walking in step, right? In order for it to work, they're walking in sync with one another. And if one of them gets out of line, then the field is not prepared properly.
It'll turn.
And so I don't know. It just really hit me that gosh, it's not about the yoke at all. It's about the fact that he's the one carrying it for us and the fact that he's the one beside us. And I think sometimes we read that scripture and we think, all right, well, if what I'm doing doesn't feel light and easy, then I'm doing it wrong.
Must not be of God.
It must not be of God, so I don't want it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, you said your burden was light and easy. So why am I going through this? Well, are you aligned with him in it?
Is that still your calling?
This all comes back to alignment, I feel where if it's out of alignment, if he's not the one beside you, literally every step that you're taking is in the same vein, then of course it's going to be heavy.
Yeah. Of
course it's not going to be light. Of course it's going to be hard. Of course the field isn't going to be tilled properly. Everything has to be done in step with him, and the field still has to be tilled. The seed has to be planted.
The work has to be done.
It has to be done. So you either do it in line with him or he'll choose someone else to do it. Anyways, I just thought, gosh, we just put so much on us sometimes. We make things heavier than they need to be because we're not in step with him. And I don't know.
I think a really easy way to get back on track is to, when it feels out of sync, when it feels off the rails, when it feels not easy or not hard, but when it feels like maybe I'm not aligned the way I'm supposed to be, maybe I'm not in the right mindset, whatever it is, prayer really does a world of good. And not just one time, hey God, I'm struggling with this, can you hook it up, homie? I need some help. Intentional deep, constant prayer about specific things. Hey, God, I don't know how I'm going to get this done. You don't know how I'm going to actually make it to the finish line. Can you just come and help me get through this and get this done and just help me? If this is what I'm supposed to be doing, can you just help me? But again, not just one prayer, not just two prayers, but like really mindfully being in a place of, I'm going to continue to pray about this until you help me through. Because he always will.
Right.
You can't manipulate him, but he will always help you through a situation. I think that's something that we can really shift a mindset on of, God's not necessarily going to answer your prayers the way that you want to, but he will always help you.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think that callings in our life generally are very clear. And if it's not clear, I think it's probably not time yet. I think there are things that maybe God is calling you toward, right? But maybe we don't jump in right away, because if it's not clear, just hold on a minute, wait until it's clear. And I don't know, I'm trying to think right now of like anything in the Bible where God called somebody to something and it wasn't like an incredibly clear instruction. And I don't know, if you can think of one, send it my way, because
Noah?
I'm just on the
Go build an ark.
No, but it was a clear instruction. He
was...
literally gave him the dimensions of the ark and said, here's how this is going to go down. The disciples following him, it was like, yeah, we're going to go do this. You're either in or you're out. Like,
you're going to drop everything and just go.
And even David, and this is the one I was thinking of, is like, he knew, I'm going to be king, but there wasn't a path for it until much later on in his life. Everything had to be clearly laid out before he was actually able to step into that assignment. And so I just think I just know that God is not the author of confusion. If it feels chaotic and it feels confusing and it doesn't quite feel like things are lined up yet, like maybe don't step into that thing yet. Hold off a minute.
If you feel like God gave you an idea, and we've had this happen many times, if you feel like God gave you an idea, pray about it. Just take that idea and say, okay, and listen for clarity, pray for clarity. We have jumped on things that have felt like God gave us the idea, and I can guarantee you God did not give me that idea. That was a stupid idea. But
we've also jumped on things that God did give us.
We've jumped on things that God has given us, and he said, okay, just hold on to this, pray into this, like hold on to it, be obedient. And we've jumped on it anyways. And what are we doing now? We're not doing that thing anymore, I guarantee you. But then there have been other things where God has called us to do, and we're like, okay, when? And 6 months later, when? A year later, when? And there's some things that we feel like, I think both of us would agree on these, but God has given us ideas and dreams and different things, but it's been 5 years, 4 years, and there's no direction, but it's something that just sits there. And I'm like, okay, all right. At some point, God's going to say, hey, remember that thing?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yep. It's time now. Yeah.
But you can't force the hand of God.
And again, if you start doing it out of his timing and out of like that clarity for what it's supposed to be, it's just going to be busy work at that point, you know? I think saying yes, we've touched on that, like at the right time, in the right ways, quick obedience.
This
all
podcast,
of that.
start it.
Yeah.
27 episodes later, 6 months later, here we are.
Yeah.
And
but we knew what it was going to be when we said it. And we might not have known like how we were going to structure every episode, but we knew from the very beginning what the point was.
Right.
There was a lot of clarity on what this was supposed to be. We may have needed to figure out how we were going to buy the mics that we needed, or I needed to learn how to edit and all of that. That was me putting in the work after God already said yes, go.
Right.
But we had a lot of clarity on what the vision was.
We had clarity on what the vision was, but like, what is the point of us doing this long term? And we we do think when it comes to like business or doing something like this, there's a point to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, as we've gone, we've really dug into the point is to share real with people and real like praise with people. Like we've had all of that, but we don't have a plan for this being a profitable business that we incorporate and we build merch and we go on tour and we sell. We don't have that plan. It's a very unstructured do this and keep doing this to do this purpose. But there's not like this end goal we're trying to get to.
Oh, right. No. No, we're just talking. It's fun.
But I don't know. I pray about this podcast. Like, what are we supposed to do with it? Like, how are we supposed to share it? And I think that's where social media gets hard with this podcast. That's not our forte. I mean, we know how to run a schedule, but adding that is another full-time job.
Yeah.
So that's hard. But this feels like obedience. Week after week, we're recording and going. And for now, it has a purpose of what it is. But I think even since we started, the purpose in the calling to do this has shifted.
I think it's just grown.
Yeah.
Deeper
conversations.
One thing that I think is, well, let's just say also saying no is a good thing.
Yeah.
Just because there's an opportunity in front of you doesn't mean that you should jump and do it. And I think sometimes that we confuse opportunity with like, well, if God put this opportunity in front of me, then it must be from him and it must be the thing that I'm supposed to do. And we jump on opportunities just because they're available without actually asking ourselves if it aligns with the calling or if it aligns with the plan, right?
Yeah.
We've kind of talked about exposure, doing work for exposure. Like that's kind of what it feels like sometimes is like, oh man, I have an opportunity to intern at such and such church, for example, because churches like to do that now, right? Yeah. They have a bunch of interns and cool, but like, what are you going to do with that? What's your calling?
Yeah.
Just because a church needs an intern doesn't mean that you're qualified, doesn't mean that you're called. And that's not for them to figure out. That's for you to figure out. You know?
Shouldn't be applying for that job. I'm going to taboo here. Don't let your finances drive what your calling actually is. Let your calling drive how God provides for you. And we have a client who turned down a huge opportunity to do something with HBO because it didn't feel like the right thing. And instead, he felt like God was calling him to do this smaller thing. But then 4 weeks later, he's singing on Grammy-nominated albums. He's doing a Netflix. There's just all of these things, but the big, like, flashy, I think I'm supposed to do this. And then it was like God saying, nope, I'm going to put this here. Like, you can do this, but that's not your calling. That's not your purpose.
Yeah. I think every no really makes space for the right yes, right? You're just leaving space for God to work, leaving space for him to be very clear with you. God is not like, he's not just some vague guy that's like, hey, what do you want to do? Here's a little, I just think like he'll tell you yes or no. You just have to ask him. And we don't ask because we don't want the answer sometimes.
We don't ask because we don't want the no from God.
Sometimes we don't want the yes from God.
Right.
Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh, like
very, very biblically heavy today.
I know.
You're on fire. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Thanks.
Sometimes saying no is easier than saying yes.
Oh,
sometimes
for sure.
There will be opportunities that you have to say no to get to the right opportunity that is your calling to say yes to. So just because you have an opportunity doesn't mean that is the calling that God has on your life.
Yeah.
If it seems too good to be true, it might be. If it seems too hard to make work, it probably is the right thing. The harder it is to accomplish, the more that you should really think about that. Is that my calling? And pray for clarity on that.
Yeah. What are some, like, I mean, this is a lot. This is heavy. I feel like we're figuring it out as we go. I feel like we have a lot of clarity, but, you know, we also want to constantly be checking in and being like, okay, God, is this still the thing? Is this still the right thing? God, are you sure this is the thing? Am I sure this is the thing?
Can I go the other way now?
Yeah. Okay. Are we done here yet? Can I move? So I think some practical things for people to take into account, and these are just kind of like surface things, right? Like, you don't, these should be easy answers. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So number one, does this align with my values? It should be very clear if it aligns with your values. That
Right.
might be a client that you're taking on, a job opportunity, or just the things that you're picking up along the way. We started this episode saying, like, you could be doing a million things at once. So ask yourself, does this align with my values? You'll know. If you're really honest with yourself, you'll know.
What if it only 75% aligns with your values?
Well, I don't have an answer for that. I didn't know you were going to ask that. No, I don't. I understand why people would have a hard time saying no to something like that.
Yeah.
But that's not a place I'm at right now. I'm kind of like on solid ground of the things that I will and won't allow.
I think there's very cut and dry seasons, and I think God brings clarity. And the reason I brought that up was not to be decisive or anything, but it was, your calling may come in an area where only 75% of you agrees with the values of that thing. If your calling is to minister or reach and be a light,
shift culture,
and shift culture in that 25% area that you don't agree with. And I think that that's only something that God can.
Gets muddy, but yeah.
It gets muddy, but I don't know. When you said that, I was like, yeah, 100%. And then I was like,
yeah,
for some people, the mud is what they've been called to do. And if it doesn't align with your values, but you can help shift culture and bring Jesus to a dark place, like, if that explicitly is your calling, you'll know that. If it's, oh, I only agree with 75%, but I'm going to go type articles, but we're going to type articles about things I don't agree with. Like, that probably isn't the right fit. But if there's an opportunity for you to be a light in that place, maybe that is your right fit. But I would bet that if God wants you to go to a dark place, he's going to give you a very clear direction on that.
Yeah, I almost feel like those things are
Do we disagree here?
No. I don't think we disagree. I think you have to be very clear on your calling. Like, just because there's an opportunity to shed light in a dark place doesn't mean that you're the one called to do it.
Right.
I think that let's just use something like a prison ministry, for example.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there are certain people, we are all called to minister. So don't hear me wrong on there, right? I think we are all called to minister the gospel to people. The Great Commission should ultimately be our goal in everything that we're doing in our life. But I think there are certain people that have an assignment from God to go and minister in a place like this. There may be someone that has an experience or a weakness in an area where they can't enter that place
100%,
and in a healthy way, right? And so maybe in my head I'm kind of going like fivefold ministry, like in what areas does that apply, certain types of ministry. I think I got a little in the weeds when you were talking about it, but I agree.
I really wasn't trying to be anything,
I know.
But I think that
this is me overthinking it.
I think that there are some people who are explicitly called to work with I mean,
corporations they don't agree with, or yeah.
some people are just called to work in the streets with
Mm-hmm.
drug addicts and prostitutes,
Yeah.
and like that's what you're called to do. But
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
that's what you're like. You know that's your calling before you
Mm-hmm.
know where your calling is
But
leading
I think
you.
this is where we got in the weeds, is now we're talking about ministerial calling.
Oh, okay.
Whereas if I'm a creative creating graphics for something and I'm marketing something, that's where I'm going, no, I don't align with the values of this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to create marketing material for you to get more customers.
Yeah. That church website we
However,
turned down a few years ago.
if I have a ministerial calling to go and preach the gospel in the streets,
Mhm.
that's not exactly the same thing. So that's where I got a little
Okay. Yeah.
confused with what you're saying.
I was kind of putting it all together. I don't want us
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
shut people off to be like, oh, well, that doesn't go with my values, so that's not my. I
Right.
think I was
No, you should.
kind of
I see what you're
covering
saying.
that, but I see where you're coming from. I love talking with you.
Do you love it when I question what you're saying?
I really do.
Okay, the next one I had, so values. The next one I had was, does this align with my season?
Mm.
This goes back to David, right? Called to be king, but not today,
Yeah.
right? There are things that I know that even now I'm called to do. I feel like God has given me visions and dreams for ministry in a very specific way, and it's not right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard.
You don't say.
It's really hard. Dang it.
Did it get you?
That one got me. Shoot. Okay. Yep. Wasn't expecting to cry about
It
that.
is. But that's where.
It's hard to wait,
Yeah.
but I know that it's not the right time. So
Right.
I'm going to keep waiting, and that's fine. But I'm also going to be saying yes along the way to
Mhm.
things that help me grow in that area,
Mhm.
so that when God says that it's time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
That one carries a lot more than just that singular thing.
Yeah, but
Like,
I
there's
think
a lot
that
of
this is
God has
something
asked
that,
us to wait for
yeah,
things.
I think that this is something that a lot of people can relate to, and I think that it's the hardest one
Mhm.
because seasons, like, they change so often, and what God is telling you is the right time is not always what you think is the right time.
Mhm.
And values, easy
Yeah.
peasy. I know that I know whether or not I agree with something.
Right.
Having to wait on the thing that God called you to, that's a lot harder. And based on my reaction right now, you wouldn't think that I had peace about it, but I do. Yeah, it's just waiting for the right season is really hard. But there's also, like, you don't want to miss the right season either.
Mhm.
So if I'm not continually keeping myself in a heart posture that is prepared
Yep.
for when he says it's time to go, I could miss it.
Mhm.
And I think that's a reality too. So,
But when he calls you to multiple things, this now, that later,
yeah,
start here, grow there.
yeah,
When it's like that, it's really you have to show up 200% to the season you're in and the calling you're in now.
Yeah.
Or you're never going to walk into the next season because there's some type of preparation that has to come with that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we really ever know the preparation is happening or what we need to be capable of moving into a certain season when it's a waiting season to get there or when it's a waiting season to get to your calling. I don't think that we know that we're going through specific things that we're going to need. But once you step into that calling, and I do know we've talked to a lot of people about this, when you step into the calling that God has for you, you're going to go through things. And we've done some of this on our journey. Like, why the hell do we go through that? But then you're talking to someone randomly when you are in the season you're called to be. And it's like, oh, I went through that for this reason to share this.
Yeah.
Or I went through that to be this type of person for, like, you don't know that you're going through the refining and the growing and the building to be what you need to be once you step into your calling until you're there.
Yeah.
the fire is hot and the work is hard, but you just keep doing it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
knowing, is this God assigned?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying yes because God told me to do this, or am I just afraid to say no? That can be impossible.
Yeah.
That can be so impossible to walk through in, oh, God brought this client. God brought this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say yes to that because I haven't had a client inquiry in 2 months. Is that the right client? Is that the right opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right church? Is that the right,
Yeah.
any of those things? Just because it's put in front of you doesn't mean it's the right thing.
Yes.
There's so much put in front of us.
Yep. But also kind of using these filters to determine, this obviously isn't just about client work. That's easy. It's quick. It's the job. It's how you pay your bills. It's
That
all
has
of
a
that.
time frame.
Yeah. Obviously we're talking about a lot heavier ministry based stuff as well. And I mean, true alignment with God. But using these filters of, is it right? Is it now? Is it all of that? I think is important because it really is the thing that will help avoid burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Because burnout doesn't happen. I don't want to make like a blanket statement. I don't think burnout happens when you're called to the thing that you're doing, at least not in the same way. You can be tired, but if you know that you're in sync with God,
Mm-hmm.
like you're not going to get burned out. It's going to be a lot of work and you're going to be tired, but like busyness is what causes burnout.
But if you're doing the thing that you're called to and you are in your calling, you're going to get tired because work is tiring, life is tiring,
Mm-hmm.
but you will have a balance of rest.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Right.
There will be seasons where your calling is going to just completely
Mm-hmm.
take everything from you and you may not get a rest day.
Yeah.
You may not get a Sabbath.
Right.
But if you're doing what your calling is, there's always going to be time for rest. Even with how busy we are, we still have time for rest. And that's how I know we're doing what we're supposed to. But having the obedience of, I'm called to do this area of ministry.
Mm-hmm.
They need somebody in this area and somebody in this area and somebody in this area. Just because you're a warm body doesn't mean that you go do it.
Yeah.
That's where you get to burnout
Mm-hmm.
and you get away from calling.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's a pretty simple way to
I
put
agree.
that.
Yeah. No, this is great. I think honestly, just to kind of like wrap it up a little bit, with like a pretty bow. We going back to like the idea of the yoke. It won't be heavy if it's the thing that God has called you to.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not, even a little thing will crush you.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's good.
A light thing will crush you if it's not the right thing. And the heavy things, the weighty things, the things with purpose won't feel so heavy if they're God ordained. And so just, I don't know. I just think like, I just want to encourage people to like really take stock of what you're doing, what you're putting your hand to, what you're putting your skill to, what you're putting your thoughts to. Like, what is consuming you? And is it from God? Because I just think we take things on because we're humans and because life goes on and all the things, but like, it's not always.
You said something really important of what is consuming you.
Yeah.
I don't have any scriptural backing for this, but I'm just going to say what I feel I'm supposed to say here is calling doesn't consume you.
Mm.
Calling will carry you through doing what you're supposed to and what your calling is if you stay on path with it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't just get a calling. You don't get a phone call and I just put up my hands like I'm on the phone in 1992. Let's go 1998 because
okay.
So anyways, if God calls you to something, he's going to carry you through it.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to give you direction. He's going to sustain you. If you stay in constant communication with him.
Yeah.
Your calling is like a marriage. Your calling is like a relationship. If you don't put the work into it, you're going to drift apart. You're going to drift away, you're going to get off topic, but your calling is very clear, but it also requires constant communication with God.
Yep.
And so staying just with what your calling is and not getting distracted or burdened by additional chatter or needs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We obviously want to help people, especially in the church world. We want to like take care of the things that need to be taken care of. But sometimes it's not yours to carry. Sometimes it's not your burden to carry. And sometimes you just have to let the ball drop for things to resolve. That's not your burden to bear. That's someone else's calling. And I'm just going to stop there. That's someone else's calling. Stay true to your calling.
Yeah. And I could totally agree.
This was
okay. I'm
heavy.
going to move on, right? Let's wrap it up. Okay. I'm going to move on to our Creative Spark segment. You ready? Do you have anything else serious that you want to say?
No, but that was heavy.
I know.
Heavy.
That's why we're going to move on and laugh now.
Okay. Let's laugh.
What is your Creative Spark this week?
Creative Spark this week. I have felt very uninspired by
It's the opposite of what I asked.
No, I know. I have felt very uninspired or disinterested in what people get so hung up about. Cracker Barrel. It is absolutely...
You know what it feels like to me? It
Okay,
feels like the...
Let me finish.
Okay. Go ahead.
I feel like Cracker Barrel was in a rut. Please.
I can't believe this is what you brought up.
Please. Can we stop? For the love of God. Please. Stop with Jaguar, Cracker Barrel. If your sales suck, come up with a marketing plan and not this like detrimental bomb to spark online engagement and controversy to get things going. It's absolutely ludicrous. That new Cracker Barrel logo was not a logo. Somebody made that in 3 minutes in some Canva platform, and they took some AI generated building and slapped it on there to spark controversy on the internet. That is not exciting. That is not creative.
I read a statement this morning that said Cracker Barrel's keeping the old timer in the logo.
I saw that. So
listen, just keep the old timer on your menu.
It further proves that this was a marketing ploy.
I know.
Like, your sales suck, so you're going to... So many businesses have been doing this.
I know.
Hire better people to do the job. Listen to what the consumer wants to come into your doors. Be willing to change more than just the visual aesthetic. Like,
you know what happened? They started serving alcohol. That's what happened to Cracker Barrel.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Did they still have a fireplace and checkers and chocolate cobbler and
I don't know. I saw something they got rid of the little pegboards and whatever, and the hash brown casserole and the meatloaf are all frozen and they're not actually cooking food. It's just microwaved food.
The last time we went to Cracker Barrel, one of the servers ate the fries off of our plate in the kitchen and we watched her and so we left.
On her way out with our food, Cracker Barrel.
Get it together.
Get it together. But anyways, I feel like we're just jumping in this and people are inspired by the lack of originality and like that's what's sparking.
Yeah.
Can we actually talk about real things like the old Japanese tea house repair guy?
Oh, I know. That's
where
so good.
Cups, like teacups that they make out of clay and they fire and they have them in their house and they actually care about that. When it cracks, they actually will go in and like redo it, drill more holes, put in metal and like extra like
showcase the
decorative pieces to showcase the flaw in it.
Yeah.
And there's just something so beautiful in the simplicity of as Americans, we're like, oh, my glass cracked, let me just throw it away. But in Japan, like in this small village, they're taking it to a tea shop and this guy is fixing it And now it's another beautiful thing that can continue to live with their family. I don't know. I feel like we've lost a lot of like
Care.
Just throw it at the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah, I don't like that method.
Do you have any inspiration this week?
Yeah, you want to know what it is?
Yeah, what's your creative spark?
My daughter's mermaid birthday. Listen, okay, so I had this whole thing. I did the old Eloise books are all like pink and red and black and white and fine line illustrations, and so
French,
I created
New York,
I created
classy.
this whole invitation that I thought was so cute and classy because she didn't have a theme that she cared about. And 2 days later she came and she was like, "Oh, and by the way, I want it to be a mermaid theme." What? That's not classy.
So we have the trashiest mermaid.
What? No, we don't. I'm going to make it so cute.
I know,
so now I have to be inspired by mermaids this week.
Mermaid stuff is all like teal and purple.
I know.
Of the worst dark shade, and it's just...
I know. I don't like it, but here we are. So
do you know what's inspiring me? Is our girls.
Yeah.
Their joy and their passion for life.
Mm-hmm. We got into the most fun conversation with a friend of ours this week. Okay, so maybe I should say our kids are obsessed with Jurassic World, all 3 movies. The old ones they like as well, but the new ones
we don't really let them watch the old ones because
they're a little scarier. They love the new Jurassic World movies. So all of this sparked a conversation about dinosaurs and how they died, and well, Josh liked to ask if they actually ever existed. And so anyways, we got into a whole conspiracy theory thing, and then just the most beautiful conversation with a friend of ours about the flood and dinosaurs. And I don't know, I'm just inspired by their curiosity. Our girls, they ask really good questions, and I'm loving it.
They ask very conversation starting questions. They're so little.
I know.
And the things that come out of their mouth, I'm like, you are just so cool.
I know. They are so cool. And our daughter this morning was playing architect and building a tent and all the things. So I don't know. I'm excited for this next year. We're about to have an 8-year-old, and that feels crazy, but you know.
Yes. But life is...
It's good.
It's so good.
I don't know. I hope that this was good. We think about calling a lot. I hope this episode was good for someone to hear, talk about, think about, all of that. If you have a story of a time where God called you to something you didn't want to do, or you did something you weren't supposed to do, let us know.
Spicy.
I know. Let us know. We'd love to hear y'all's take on this. Again, we are not theologians in any way, shape, or form. We just are reading our Bible and trying to be led by the Holy Spirit and learn as much as we can along the way. And we talk a lot more Bible than I ever intended to on the podcast. So I hope that it's right and in line and all the things. I don't ever want to be theologically unsound.
I don't think we ever dive into it, and I very cautiously will bring things up because I don't want to come across as oh, I'm a subject matter expert in that, because I'm not that at all. But I do think it's important that we do read the Bible. We do dig into it and the hard things, and we pray about all the things that we're saying that we do and feeling called to do this podcast. It's not always easy.
Yeah.
Even this conversation today, it's something we talk about a lot, but how do you communicate that to people who might be in a season of crap, I'm doing the wrong thing? Or how do you communicate to people who are, I feel like I'm supposed to do this, but I don't really know? We can't answer that question for you. You can't answer that question for us. So it's touchy to talk about.
Yeah.
And here's our experience laid out, very transparent and open about everything we are. But it comes down to you have to do the work and have the relationship and hear from God for you. We can't help with that. We can help with the schedule and task management, project management, checklist, taking a day of rest. Here's how you fire a client. We can help with all of that. But when it comes to the scriptural stuff, when it comes to the biblical stuff, the hard stuff, we obviously feel called to be talking about this, but we want to be responsible in how we handle talking about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right.
Catch you on
Great
the flip
conversation.
side. No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody have an amazing week, and we'll see you later.
See you next time.